Hey everybody, KC here. So I'm coming to you today from the National Grocers Association show in Las Vegas. I'm in the Caesars Forum Convention Center, and as I record this, I've just finished facilitating with Michael Sansolo the 3-hour tech tracks that took place on Sunday morning, and it was really interesting. And it was fascinating in terms of the structure of the thing. You know, we talked about technology, but we really focused on it as being technology-enabled solutions, technology-enabled services. And there's a difference. I don't think that's just semantics. I think when you think in terms of solutions and services, you're really thinking about the customer. You're being customer-centric. That's something Tom Furphy talks about a lot here. How, customer centricity, the customer, that has to be the bottom line of anything you do in any store, regardless of whether you're thinking about technology or not. We also talked a lot about how to eliminate friction, and it was fascinating because even though all these different people had very different companies doing very different things, the elimination of friction at every step along the way, well, that was really important to and common to everything they were talking about. And we talked a lot about retailer implementation and execution, because that's critical, right? If you're going to talk about technology or tech-enabled services, you have to focus on how is the retailer and why should the retailer execute on this. If you don't do that, it's really not relevant. The why to me is pretty simple, right? You have to do it because, quite frankly, if you're not moving ahead, well, your competitors are, and that puts you in an almost untenable position going forward. And it's really important to figure out what the building blocks are, figure out what the overall strategy is, and even if you have to take baby steps to move forward, to figure out what can I do today, and then leave the other stuff to do tomorrow, but you have to do something. One of the questions we got during the Q&A session was, well, there's a recession coming. Can we just wait and see, or do we have to do something now? I think the answer to that question is obvious. You have to do something now. It doesn't have to be everything, and it doesn't have to necessarily be everything tomorrow, but you do have to move forward. One of the lessons of this thing was when we put it together, the idea was there weren't going to be a lot of presentations, but there were going to be a lot of conversations. And the metaphor I kept using was it's going to be like a great cocktail party. You bring lots of interesting people together who have certain commonalities, but also disparate interests, and you throw them together on stage and see what happens. And I think that's in a lot of ways what retailers have to do, right? If you can bring different peoples from your organization, of different age groups, different ethnicities, different genders, different interests, and you put them in a room and you start to ask them questions about how they use technology, what would they want from the store, you may come up with answers that are going to be interesting. Well, listen, I'm here for the duration. I think Michael Sansolo is going to join me for a video tomorrow. I think Tom Furphy might join me for a video the following day. This is one of those great times. You get to hang out with retailers. And the great thing is so many of them are morning newsbeat readers, and it's fun to hang out once again in person live. It's just one of the great things I get to do. So anyway, that is what's on my mind this morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.